Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Impact Rooms, where I'm joined by Mandy Casken today. So Mandy is a experienced leader within the resource planning, performance, analytics and insight space. So Amanda, thanks for joining us. So Amanda, obviously I've known you for many years, and I'm sure that many of us would know yourself for many years, but some people won't. So would you mind just giving us a quick elevator pitch on who you are, what you're about, what you've done, where you've come from, etc.?
Okay, thank you, Perry. Well, I have been in the forecasting, planning, workforce optimization, data field for the last 26 years. I started my journey or my life in this career back in CCP and learned quite a lot of things from that company. I've spent many years working from head of to director level roles in financial services and spent 5 years working on the Capita MOD contract of army recruiting. I've also more recently been Director of Strategic Planning for a field-based business. And so I think I've got quite a broad range of experience in the planning and WFM space. And in recent years have brought data and data intelligence into that structure.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. So, Mandy, as you kind of look at, as you say, you've been there, you've delivered it in a lot of places, but as we've had conversations recently around kind of the biggest opportunity within the planning, analytics and insight space, I mean, do you want to just share some kind of things on what you believe is the biggest opportunity for this space?
So I do believe that AI is one of our biggest opportunities, and how we implement and use those systems or functionality. I think one of the things we need to be very clear on as planners, WFM experts as to operations excellence, is making sure we take the benefits of AI. And let's just have a look at our big WFM providers now. The AI being used in the systems of NICE, Verint, Injixo and all the others is fantastic. So this is the functionality which is helping us to get our forecast really tight, that the daily demand. But alongside that, we are not throwing out the baby with the bathwater of our actual expertise now, analysts. And I think the opportunity there is bringing the AI aspect, which takes away a lot of the manual labour, and complement it with the intelligence and insights, which either a data scientist or a really experienced as to data analyst, BI analyst can bring to life. So that to me is where you get the balances of automation, but also manual experience and industry knowledge and expertise.
It's a brilliant. So you spoke about obviously, the planning team and the evolution of the planning function there, and being a bit more kind of strategic minded and having more of a focus, and obviously letting the AI do what the AI can do. So where do you see, what would you say? Everyone always talks about ROI, etc., and stuff. What would you say is the biggest kind of ROI that a planning leader like yourself could bring to an organization?
I think it is that as to making sure that every hour you put in front of the customer is an effective and efficient hour. And that is not necessarily dealing with one type of demand. It is your omni-channel, your universal agent. The agents now, from the functionality of AI and the tools and systems that they have available to them, they can deal with many different demand types. It's that benefit to the customer. We're reducing the handoffs and really getting that return as to, here's an agent, they are here to serve you, and getting that end success for a customer. And for me, I think you've got to put the balance in here around the effective workforce, but it also is in that customer retention. Because here and now, customers have so many options. They don't need to stay with any one business. So you give them a brilliant agent who can deal with everything they want. As all of us know, in the planning space, 80-20 90-10, that doesn't matter to a customer. What they care about is the agent you put in front of me was able to deal with my query, however long it took them. No follow-up, no repeat call, no complaint. It is that customer satisfaction. It keeps them loyal. And that to me is the ultimate benefit we can bring.
No, it's so true. I think, people always looked at planning functions as the people that got in the way a little bit, or the people that, wouldn't let you have the World Cup off or whatever it is. They're always the the nasty people as such back in the day. But I think it's so true. I think planning has evolved dramatically over the years, and it's now more than just putting the right people in the right place with doing the right things. It's putting the right people in the right place, doing the right things with the right tools, with the right technology, with the right skills, with the right experience, but also happy doing the job as well. I think it's so hard nowadays to find good quality agents on the market. That actually planning has such a benefit in employer retention as well. I mean, I don't know if you've got any success stories around kind of any of your plans or anything that you've got around, as you say, going from that old school right people, right place. Yes, there's an agent there answering the calls to now this new kind of level of planning.
Well, I do have success stories, but firstly, Perry, just as to what you were saying there, and for me, I started my career in a call centre, and it was an outbound call centre, and at the same time, the inbound call centres was just growing, and it was a case of right people, right place, take that call, and as my team, as I developed and I created a team, we was the mission control. So these teams were the control function. They were the person telling you can't go to the toilet. I think as we've evolved, and back in, I'm trying to think, the early 2000s, I worked with a fantastic consultancy in my role with Aviva, and that was John Seddon from the Vanguard team. And that was looking at systems thinking, and it was putting everything in the hands of those frontline agents because they knew what customers wanted. What the big learning for me at the time was, instead of my team, my planning team, who liked numbers and liked nicest to structured patterns, we would create break schedules. We would create offline activities to meet what we believed was demand. The big lesson for us was learning how much that customer interaction actually influenced demand. So the intraday profile, you've got a customer with their reason to call, but also it's the performance that agent gives, which also influences the demand. So taking that mindset, that direction, remove the focus of creating that 15-minute break schedule to the team managers, to the agents. The efficiency there was unreal. The return there was significant. And I think that did see a lot of businesses moving away from your standard resource planning, real-time planning, head of planning structure. And they very much, we saw many businesses in the past 5 years have removed their planning function. Then you get the single platform opportunities of the likes of Kraken. Amazing, nice, clean, one view. And again, there with that, there is the message as to the frontline agent, those dealing with the customers, will create the efficient plan. But I think the light bulb has suddenly clicked back on. Without this planning function, without somebody bringing it all together, not controlling, but bringing it together, we've actually got people going off on tangents, and we get customers with different experiences. So my example as to how I have brought this together, how I have made us two different people, different skills, different requirements work, was actually in the Army recruiting contract. You had incoming calls, you had outbound calls, you got field-based recruitment professionals, and then you got set regimes and requirements. And all of those needed to take all of my past as in, how do I get those people with the right skills to work very structured in some aspects and with more freedom in others,
Yeah.
and doing the right thing. And all of that was underpinned by the data intelligence, which AI, data science helped me achieve too.
Oh, brilliant. I think, you just mentioned it there, that you put the last few words. I think, I think planning is more now than just, as you say, that planning, the AI, the insights, I suppose planning is more operational support nowadays. It's there to assist the operations to deliver the best. It's more of an enabler than it probably, like I said, than a dictator. That, I mean, it was never a dictator, but that kind of view of, where are you? Why have you gone to the toilet? You shouldn't be at the toilet. You should be on that call. That element of it has gone, and say has gone back to the operations. Now the role of planning is to enable the operations to do their job, to foresee the day, the month, the year, the next 3 to 5 year plan, to go, well, this is how our operations are going to look in 5 years' time. This is how the strategic model is going to look for and take forward. And this is the growth we imagine. There is a lot more advancements in that than, as I say, and that all comes back to that analytics and insights. And obviously AI will hopefully help with that. And AI can also help with the improvement of obviously the agent experience as well as the customer experience of, imagine if, obviously AI, we don't know what it's going to be able to do yet. We're still learning, and obviously there's so many kind of things and views out there at the moment. But, if AI can be there and just pull up straight in front of your customer's data as soon as it's ringing, and give you an overview, etc., and look through all the notes, it will just make the employee experience as well as the customer experience so much more effective and efficient. I think the problem with the new way of, especially in the contact center world, but any space, people only ring contact centers up now for one or two reasons. There's a problem or they need to complain about something, or their price has gone up or whatever. No, you don't need to ring a contact center anymore to change your address. You can do that online nowadays, etc. So the agent job's getting harder. So I think this is where planning in a way does become that next level on that employee engagement. It kind of becomes 4 or 5 dimensional instead of that 2-dimensional kind of 1-dimensional thing it used to be.
I agree with that, but I also think that the attributes of a planner has changed, because again, as you just said there, that actually all research shows people like to talk to people. Most people, and there are certain people who do not want to change their address online, but what it is, when they want to change their address, they know that they're going to be speaking to X company and it's a person. They want to get to that person as quickly as possible, and they will have more than likely more than one thing to deal with. So you cannot have agents constrained by an average handling time of X. That is where AI comes into its own again, because creating this universal agent, we don't have all of the depth of knowledge to deal with every single requirement. There might be some complexities, but the opportunities AI brings is actually presenting to that agent, here's this customer, here's their history, here's what they're looking for. That again changes the whole customer interaction. So what we have seen is a difference in the agent requirements. There is a difference in the planning, analyst, manager, whatever we call that role, requirements. But it's putting together a lot of the functions and processes from the past as well. So it's very much like the fact of, I know when I worked with Barclays and we created the Barclays app, everything has changed and evolved so much, as has this world, which I've loved working in for the last 25-6 years. But I think it is the realization of what these functions can bring. That we are no longer forecasters who build a financial plan in isolation. That we are the forecasting function who works with the operational stakeholders and the finance team and the transformation team and the resourcing team. All of these different functions come into that plan. and it's understanding how they fit together which gets the end solution. So to me, this is how the roles and the roles within the functions have evolved. And we are, I believe we are an operations performance and support function.
Brilliant. I think that's a great kind of topic to end on. I think I might you might see that one coming out on LinkedIn as a big quote.
Well, thankfully we haven't got my dogs joining in the background.
But no, brilliant stuff. So Mandy, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, we've known each other for many years, have worked with each other, both as a candidate side. Obviously, I've successfully placed you in previous roles, but obviously has also successfully placed people in your teams and stuff as well. I mean, if you don't mind kind of just sharing quickly a brief kind of overview of the experience you've had when kind of working myself over the years.
So as you say, Perry, we have known each other far too many years. It really spoils me being able to say I'm only 25 in this industry. But you've placed me in many roles and presented many candidates to me. What I find the value of that and how we've worked together is you have spent the time to get to know me. So you know my way of working. I am very straight talking. I like to do things very straight. So you make sure where you presented me, you put me in front of potential employers who are looking for somebody like myself. And in return, you have really taken the time to find me those great candidates who'll fill my needs. And you presented some great candidates, ones who I myself have built good relationships with and always reach out to us. Everybody knows me. I like to go back to my little notebook of who I've worked with and how we've worked together. So I think it's been a really successful relationship of myself on all sides, and long may it continue.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Well, Mandy, that was thought-provoking ideas and hopefully sharing some wisdom from your 25 years when you're only 21 experience.
Thank you, Perry.
And so that was brilliant. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you sharing that, and obviously I look forward to speaking to you very soon.
Speak to you soon, Perry. Bye.